guys, so today we're gonna be talking about the differences in stress colors that our succulents give us depending on the environment stress factors that they're exposed to. And this is just, I'm not necessarily saying that it's the same for everybody, okay? This is based on my experience, and I know that it's different for everybody. So I'm going to be showing you certain succulents, like my echeveria prolifica here, that's given me different colors at this time of the year than it normally does. And then I will provide pictures on the side with a little bit of information about what kind of stress, what kind of weather it was exposed to. That's why it's a different stress color that it has given me. Now, let's start with our first succulent. This right here is called an echeveria prolifica. So a little bit of a background on it. I got this about a little less than a year ago. The weather was a lot cooler then, and the stress colors that it gave me was more sort of a kind of like a pink blush when I had water stressed it. It wasn't so hot, but now it looks like this. We have been reaching the 90s and 100s in temperatures lately, and it's been really hot, it's been really humid, and it's just, at every year at this time of the year, my succulents pretty much suffer. She has given me these stress colors. If you see the white tips there, if you see the yellow tips there, is it nice? I think it looks nice, but is it a good stress color? I don't think so, not necessarily. It's not bleaching. This is not going to sunburn, but I have noticed that for those parts, if you look at my echeveria prolifica closely, for these parts that have turned yellow, you notice that the tips are slowly kind of getting burnt by the sun because it has been really intensely hot lately. Mind you, I have these guys under my shade cloth, and there's also a roof over the top of them, so they're only getting sunlight from the side, and they're still getting sunburn. That is how hot it's been. And I notice that when it gets very hot, when our weather reaches up to the 90s, this is the time that my plants give me these yellow stress colors. So I take that as sort of a warning from the plant saying, hey, I'm stressing out a little bit over here. Can you please provide me some more shade and less sun exposure, or else my leaves are going to sunburn? And that's exactly what happened. When I thought it was pretty, but then when I noticed that the edges of the edges of her leaves started getting sunburned, I moved her back, so she's kind of a lot more in the front of where my shade cloth's at, so she still gets a lot of time under the sun, even if it's filtered. But because it's so hot, I moved her to the back a little bit. So now, instead of 6 hours a day of sun exposure, she's only getting about 3. And it's late afternoon, around 4 o'clock, when the sun is not as intense anymore, okay? So if you get stress colors like this, if you start getting this from your plants, and that's not normally the stress color they give you when the weather is cooler, take it as a warning. For me, okay, you don't have to, but I take it as a warning that they don't want as much sun as they're being provided, because it's too hot. It's normally when it's too hot. If it's really sunny outside, but the weather is pretty cool, you know, in the 70s or the 60s, they're okay. Okay? So my second plant that I want to show you as an example, this is called a graptoveria Debbie. I will show you a picture on the side right now. So as you saw in the picture, her normal stress color, Her normal stress color is more of like a purple, lavender, pinkish hue. And you know, that's when it's really healthy and happy. That's when it's not so hot and she's still in direct sun. But lately, since we have been reaching, like I said, temperatures of the 90s, and the heat is just brutal out there, I get this every single year. I have had her for over 2 years now. Every single year in the summer, she does struggle a little bit. And as you can see, she kind of lost that vibrant pinkish lavender color. And it's still there. It's still kind of there, you know, if you look at her leaves closely. But you notice that she's starting to turn a little bit yellow. Okay, that means that it's getting too hot. That's the stress color that she's trying to show me. It's getting too hot. I like this, you know, it likes the sun, but it doesn't like the heat. So when your succulents start turning this color, as beautiful as it is, you want to provide some type of shade for the afternoon sun, because it's trying to tell you that it's too hot. And if you leave it there too long, there is a possibility of bleaching and then sunburn. Okay, there are other examples. Over here, this is called a graptoveria purple delight. Same as my graptoveria Debbie. I will show you a picture now. When this is stress, the normal stress, it is actually under stress right now, but a different type of stress. It's heat. It's from the heat. Her regular stress from a lot of sun exposure, and she's happy, is more of a purple, pink. Sometimes it can even turn bright red, but her summer stress colors are a lot different from when the weather here is cooler. If you can see, she's getting some, if you can see some of those leaves there, you notice there's kind of some freckles, like freckles of red and like brown splotches. That's not a bad thing, okay? This happens to this plant every summer, and she has gotten a little bit leggy because I have sensed when I noticed these colors, she was turning more of like kind of yellowish and pale instead of that vibrant lavender, reddish purple. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, I showed you a picture and that should be her normal color. This kind of stress is telling me that it's too much heat. Every single year, this happens to this plant as well. When I start to see my succulents get these colors, I know they're okay, but that is the time to provide a little bit of shade for them, okay? You can still keep them under the sun. You just want them to be getting filtered sun instead of full sun so they don't continue to suffer, okay? My last example here for differences in stress colors is, you've seen her in my other videos. This is called a graptopetalum subspecies bernalense. I will show you a picture of her stress colors in full sun when the weather is a lot cooler. As you saw in that picture, she looked a little bit more vibrant. She didn't, you know, she's actually starting to show, I'm not really sure if you guys can see it on camera, but she is starting to show a little bit of sunburn on those leaves. It's more of a paler green now, and then you kind of got these freckly pink tones, like blush tones. Although the plant is still completely healthy, like I said, when it gets too hot, these are the colors that she shows me, and it warns me that, hey, I like the sun, but you need to provide a little bit of shade in the late afternoon, because it does cause sunburn. Over here, I don't know if you guys can see, the tip of the leaf has actually already gotten sunburned. There's some other areas which I don't know if the camera can detect it, but look, the middle part of this one right here, the middle leaves, you want to watch that. You don't want the middle of your succulents to burn, of the rosettes, okay? Because that part needs to stay healthy. That warns me that she's getting a little bit too much heat from the sun, and it's really starting to stress out. If I don't provide some type of shade and there's, you know, showing me these stress colors, they can sunburn. So I hope that this video somehow made sense to you, and the message that I'm trying to get across, that succulents do like a lot of sun exposure. They love the sun, guys, but they don't love it when it's too hot. Okay, so although we like stress colors, there are good stress colors, and then there are stress colors that, like this with the yellowing, there are stress colors that try to warn us if it's a little bit too hot, they're about to get sunburn, or they're really starting to struggle. You need to pay attention to those to keep them healthy, especially when it gets a little bit too hot. Okay, guys? So I hope this video made sense somehow. I've been trying to contemplate on how to explain it as well as I possibly could. Yeah, so pay attention to your succulent stress colors. Sometimes it's not always good stress. All of these are doing good because I have given them shade. I have provided a shade cloth for them so the sun's heat is not so intense. Yeah, pay attention to your succulents colors and their leaves, guys. Their leaves, guys, they always tell us how they're doing. You just have to know how to read them. So again, guys, this is Christine from these Succulent Buddies. I hope I was able to help you out somehow in this video, and I hope that my explanation made sense about the stress colors that are the different types of stress colors that our succulents give us and what they're trying to tell us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.